Time for our sports news with Ayatunde Balogu.
Many thanks, Sulaiman. Well, Kenya's Simon Chepro and Pauline Injeru have emerged winners of the male and female categories at this year's Okpekpe road race in Edo State. Chepro finished the 10-kilometer race in 29 minutes 48 seconds, while Injeru ended hers in 33 minutes 23 seconds. Adamoshio Mwazu was the first Nigerian male athlete to cross the finish line, while Deborah Pam finished as the first Nigerian female. Our sports correspondent Austin Okonakban reports.
Over 70 athletes from different parts of the world showed up for this year's Okpekpe International Road Race. Your sports-loving channel's television was on ground to showcase the beautiful terrains of the region. Moments after the main race took off, it was time for the VIPs, led by the governor of Edo State, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole. There was good presence of security operatives and spectators. It was an endurance test. When the legs are tired, some walked, others go spiritual.
I see from you that I will be the best runner in the whole world.
Once again, the Kenyans dominated the race while others followed. The governor and his team also completed the race.
We have sustained what we have started. We are improving the need. We are expanding the frontiers of development. And with particular reference to this marathon.
There were also cash prizes for North Ibie indigenes provided by Channels Television.
Congratulations.
Last year I took first, but nothing came up. So I thank God.
I will use that to train myself again. I don't have father again. That's why God had given me the opportunity to have it.
Fourth edition gone by, but the lessons will stay.
If you look at the doping area, I mean, we've done that differently. If you look at the stats differently, you look at the finish differently, and the general differently. Even the athletes that came all met the requirement for getting a silver label.
I think that we have met and even surpassed the normal expectation. Like you see, one of the big conditions for even silver is that you have a video output at the finish line, you know, and to some extent, live transmission.
The fourth edition of the Okpekpe International Road Race has been concluded, but it left good lessons. It has shown the organizers ways that they can improve. It's still an IAAF bronze label event for the organizers. Next year, the target is to make it a silver label. From Okpekpe in Edo State, Austin Okonakpan reporting for Channels Television News.
In England, Leicester City have been officially crowned the 2015-2016 English Premier League champions for the first time in their 132-year history. Coach Claudio Ranieri and Wes Morgan were handed the trophy after the Foxes defeated Everton 3-1 at the King Power Stadium. Jamie Vardy, the England international, scored a brace and even missed a penalty, while Andy King was also on the score sheet before Kevin Mirallas got the consolation goal for the visitors. The Foxes are guaranteed to finish with the most home points and the most away points this season. They'll also be participating in next year's UEFA Champions League. A defending champion Andy Murray marched into the final of the Madrid Open after defeating home favourite Rafa Nadal for the second successive year. The British world number 2 ended Nadal's 13-match unbeaten run on clay after looking back to his best on his favourite surface with victories in Monte Carlo and Barcelona in recent weeks. He sealed a devastating 7-5, 6-4 victory to send him through to Sunday's final, where he will play the winner of the match between Novak Djokovic and Kei Nishikori. Indeed, Murray will play Novak Djokovic in the final, as the world number 1 Djokovic was made to sweat before overcoming the Japanese Kei Nishikori 6-3, 7-6 in 1 hour 59 minutes. The 2011 champion escaped early trouble, coming under pressure in his first 3 service games when Nishikori claimed 14 of the first 19 baseline points and registered the first 10 winners of the match. And that's a wrap in sports news. I'm Ayatunde Balogun. The news at 10 continues shortly.
Officials in Canada have confirmed that the huge wildfire which has devastated the oil town of Fort McMurray in Alberta could double in size over the next 24 hours. At the moment, the fire covers an area larger than New York City and is being fanned by winds, and the availability of dry vegetation is making the situation worse. The flames are now moving away from the town, most of whose inhabitants have now reached safety.
Wind-whipped flames can still be seen roaring through forest, where a heat wave have engulfed nearly 250,000 acres of Western Canada's energy heartland since erupting on Sunday. The blaze, which is the largest of 40 wildfires burning across the province of Alberta, has forced some 88,000 residents, the entire population of Fort McMurray, to flee for safety and have threatened 2 oil sands production sites south of the city. With winds on Friday pushing the fire's leading edge to the northeast, away from town and into open timber, authorities say the blaze was expected to rapidly expand its footprint even as the threat to populated areas waned. An official with the Alberta Government Wildfire Unit, Chad Morrison, explains that the blaze was likely to double in size later today.
This is a dynamic, challenging, extreme fire, so many things can happen, but at this point the prediction over the next 2 days is for the fire to move away to the northeast.
The full extent of property losses in Fort McMurray has yet to be determined, but authorities believe that $7 million worth of structure have already been destroyed. However, according to the on-the-spot report on Friday, the wildfire is still out of control due to large burnt areas and traffic inconveniences. For now, the government officials say the progress of fire extinguishment will depend mainly on local weather conditions.
And the main news again, the president is set to join other world leaders at an anti-corruption summit in London next week. The president is expected to present a keynote address on the sidelines of the summit titled, "Why We Must Tackle Corruption Together." Also today, the Minister of Agriculture called for the arrest of herdsmen found carrying arms while grazing their cattle. The minister, who spoke in Abuja, says the arrest would only be a short-term solution to the recent killings by suspected herdsmen. And officials have said a huge wildfire which devastated the Canadian oil town of Fort McMurray could double in size over the next 24 hours. That's the news at 10 tonight. Many thanks for watching.